Welcome back, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey here, and thank you for tuning in. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you're always kept up to date with everything as it's posted. And let's dive right into something that makes my stomach churn. A teacher mocks an autistic student with most annoying award when parent complains, and they should have. Basically, what this is you have an Illinois teacher who has an 11-year-old boy in her class who is a nonverbal autistic student who occasionally, as you know, with people like this, they may have a tendency to rock back and forth or to mumble to themselves or just to make little noises. Imagine sitting next to someone and they're constantly doing this just randomly, and then all of a sudden they stop. If you didn't know them, you'd probably be annoyed. You might say something. But this teacher knew this child is autistic, and this teacher knew what that meant, and still gave this to that student. And it sickens me. It honestly does. I've taught before. I have not taught special education. I have had students with special needs in my class. Because you see, it's not just short bus, long bus. It's not just special ed, non-special ed. I have had students with vision problems, and in my time in elementary school, they might have gone to special ed. There's the joke on The Simpsons where Bart is put in remedial class, where in fourth, fifth, whatever grade, they're learning the alphabet, and you have the boy says, "I am from Canada, eh?" And it's a joke, yes, but 30, 35 years ago, someone who was so visually impaired that they couldn't see the blackboard from the front row might have been put in a special education class. And at that time, you typically had the teachers with half or a third as many students as regular teachers so that they could genuinely give one-on-one attention to everyone. That student who's that visually impaired but not blind would be able to sit and read with their face basically right on the book and still be able to grasp the lesson. When I was teaching, this student had an accommodation where they were able to put a device on their desk, which they could aim a camera at whatever is being used to instruct, and it would be displayed on a screen that they could get very, very close to so they could see it. That student was a normal student to me. I've had students who were extremely hard of hearing, and I was simply told, now they read lips better than many people who claim to know how. So if they ask you a question, face them and answer clearly. And I did, and I had no problems. Some of you who follow me on Twitter may have seen earlier in the week, I believe it was yesterday, I responded to Senator Kamala Harris, who, of course, is using a tragedy to demand law-abiding citizens be punished for the actions of criminals, and, of course, using special needs children to do so. I live in Texas. We get hurricanes in the south, and we get tornadoes in the north. And there's a tiny sliver of Texas where you're going, oh my God, I don't know what we're going to get. I'm glad I live far enough north to not have to face hurricanes. But we had a tornado watch. And just to digress, a tornado warning, if you want to imagine this in an analogous form, a tornado warning would be you have eggs and flour and butter and water and everything else needed to make a cake. A tornado watch is it's in the oven and it's about to be ready. Okay? A warning says the conditions are right. A watch says that it's beyond that. One has been spotted. And I have had a tornado watch happen while I was teaching, more than once. All but one of them while I was just a day sub. The other one I was longer term. But what happens is we generally will open a window, as many as we can, just minimally, so that we can hear our tornado sirens. That way, and we'll just use a large city as an example. If I was teaching in extremely far north Dallas, our sirens would not go off at the same time as those in, in the extreme far south. Tornado coming up I-45, right into South Dallas, their sirens are going to go off. North Dallas may not, because a tornado that separated from where I am could literally go anywhere. And I'm talking, keep coming at me, turn right, turn left, turn around, go straight up. Could just vanish like a fart in the wind. I've actually seen all of those things happen in my 42 years on this earth. So we make it easy to hear our sirens. When the watch was declared, and my students were, of course, following along, whether I was lecturing or they were watching television, and I would look around and I would make sure, okay, these are the kids I've got. We're not going to do restroom breaks right now. I was thinking all of these things. I have to shepherd these kids to safety if we hear the sirens. So in one of those cases, I had a young woman, special needs, and her special need was that just she was physically impaired. Bright as the brightest bulb you'll ever meet, sweetest kid on the planet. But she couldn't move. I walked over and knelt down beside her and I said, okay, here's the deal. We hear that siren go off. You're going to grab your bag with your left hand. I'm sorry, you're going to grab your bag with your right hand. I'm going to grab you, and I'm going to pick you up. We're going to go. We got to move fast, and I'm not trying to hurt your feelings here, but I can move fast. So we hear that because I knew she had an asthma, or I think she had asthma. She had something in her bag she couldn't be separated from. So I said, we hear those sirens. You grab that bag with your right hand and you hold on. I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to have you, you're going to be safe, and I'm going to take care of you. And that's what Senator Harris doesn't want to talk about, that teachers, by and large, we see our class as our kids. I have no children. I have a niece and two nephews. I make no bones about that. But I can tell you, if we got word that there was an active shooter in the building at one of my schools, my kids would be huddled as far away from windows and that door as possible, and I would be barring that door with my body. But if, as I am already licensed, and I train myself regularly, if I was allowed to apply to be psychiatrically evaluated and to be trained by law enforcement and to be licensed specifically to carry on school grounds, I would still be barring that door with my body to protect the kids in my room. But I would also have my sidearm in my hand so that if I see that monster threatening my kids, I can act. And I've said this on many occasions. It will destroy me if I have to do that. I would do it. But then we have this teacher. This feckless jackwagon who knows the boy is autistic, who knows what that means, and singles him out to mock him. This is a teacher that needs to be fired for cause. The union needs to be told exactly why and told, shut up and stay out of it. The parents need to be apologized to publicly by the school district, by the administration of that school, and by that now former teacher. This boy needs to have it explained to him by someone he trusts that this teacher did something very wrong. And then this teacher needs to never be a teacher again. I know it sounds extreme, but it's really not. We see people today where their lives are utterly ruined for so much less. This teacher took it upon herself to basically psychologically attack an autistic boy. And where is CNBC, MSNBC, Fox? Where are they on this? I'm having to get this from the NW Times. And now you are seeing more of why I don't watch the news. I watch opinion shows when I can, but I don't make time to watch them because we get so much crap and this is ignored. I can't understand it. But I've talked long enough about this, like the story the other day about the hot car, like anything else that involves something I am passionate about, teaching, firefighting, whatever. These hit close to home. But definitely, let me know what you think in the comments. Keep it civil. We do not learn from argument. We learn from debate. As always, please like and share the video so we can expand the conversation on this. And again, please remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you're notified of all new content. Today is a good example. There are 5 videos today, not 4. I know a lot of people are used to the 4s and 10s, but every now and then something comes up that posts on a different timeline. So you'll want that bell to be rung so that you're able to stay up to date. Until next time, everyone, have a great day.